Shalom. I want to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles of the great millstone who will. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, as well as the sincere Aquafium that are also subscribed, listening, and learning. Shalom. Now, I believe at this point, that this left behind doctrine has pretty much been covered. But for the sake of edification and the fact that, the Lord, he did give us the spirit to be able to cover all things, as it is written, you have an unction from the Holy One and you know all things. So that's why it's required for us to keep our speech, seasoned with salt, that we answer every man. And I don't know if this guy is still, if he's if he's really sincere and he's really trying to get it, or if he's secretly being a scoffer, trying to be fake humble, just so that he can you know receive more knowledge and more precepts, just to feed that deep demon. I don't know. But since this keep coming up about second Esdras 13, I'm just gonna cover it, and I'm gonna try to keep it very concise, and I hope it's not too long of a video. But I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna actually deal with it. And after that, I'm not dealing with this topic. All right. After two or three admonitions, if you still continue to believe the left behind madness, then we're gonna reject you. We're just gonna keep moving, man. All right. So I'm gonna read his comment, and then I'm gonna jump straight to it. So he says, Shalom Yasharallah, call Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Rakakwadash, the water for the love we receive from our Allahayim. I was excited and looking forward to the clear pronounced truth of Second Esdras chapter 13. Appreciate your patience as you continue faithful to bring it out. I don't know if he's being sarcastic. I don't know if he's just, I don't know. But like I said, I'm gonna deal with this. And if you still can't seem to get it, I'm done, man. All right, I'm gonna dry my hands off. We just gonna keep it moving. It says, my concern is for those like myself who thirst for knowledge and have respect for GMS teachers and scholars. In Second Esdras 13, it continually states left behind. All right, and the elder brother Manat Zakba, he went into that last night. All right, when he was covering the prophecy of Enoch, talking about the saints that's going to come, tens of thousands of saints that's going to be coming, with the Lord. You're going to have the angels that's going to come with Yahweh Shai, the host of heaven. You're also going to have those who died in the Lord, who's not going to be around to see and witness, the tribulation. They die right before the tribulation, actually starts to take place. You have men that laid the foundation that passed on and went to the spiritual realm. They're not here to actually see the things that we're seeing right now and witnessing. All right, so we're gonna cover this left behind, and we're gonna put it to rest, man. It says, I pray not to misunderstand this terminology as it applies biblically. Can you please have compassion and bring that point out throughout the whole entire chapter and how it applies to the deliverance of the election? Who being left that he comes back for? So we're gonna address it, man. And I'm gonna start with the authorized KJV version of it, and then I'm gonna read it in the Common English Bible translation that makes it pretty plain, man. That's why I like to go into certain translations, even though they're not all the way accurate. But sometimes these different translations can make the reading of it more understandable. All right. Sometimes it'll put it in plain terms. All right. So, and it's gonna make it much more clear after I read it in translation. All right. So this is 2nd Esdras 13 in the Apocrypha, and I'm gonna start at verse 14. It says, "Thou hast shewed thy servant these wonders from the beginning." All right, because the Lord declares the end from the beginning, and He showeth His secrets unto His servants the prophets. It says, "And has counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Shew me now yet the interpretation of this dream." Because he had a dream. When you read up above, he had a dream that Yahweh Shai came with the angels, and he saw the multitude, which were these nations gathered together in the Middle East, the war of Armageddon, and he saw Yahweh Shai come with the angels and basically turn them into powder, man. All right, he automatically cremated those armies, and that's talking about Yahweh Shai coming back to dethrone the nation, starting with Esau, Edom, who is the top ruling nation on the earth. Okay, this beast, the beast having 7 heads and 10 horns, that will be the final beast that will be in power when Yahweh Shai returns with the angels. All right. So Ezra is asking for more interpretation of this dream and what it meant. So he says, verse 16, "For as I conceive in mine understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe." And woe means sorrow. All right. That's what it literally means. It means sorrow. Sometimes we break it down and mean destruction, but woe, when a prophet say woe is me, he's saying sorrow is me. I'm in sorrow. Okay, and it says, "Woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind." And those days is talking about what? The same thing that Ezra saw later in the interpretation, dealing with today's time, dealing with the Great Tribulation. All right, what you read about in 2nd Ezra 15, 2nd Ezra 16. All right, how there's going to be the Lord's going to bring sword, famine, death, destruction. All right, He's going to bring great sorrows. Matter of fact, let me get that, because even He said it when He mentioned these things. He said, "Woe is me," right? Yeah, I got a first-hand preview or trailer, basically to the end, the times that we're coming in now. He saw himself back there in that time. And you better believe Ezra is part of the 144,000. All right, so this is 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. It says, "Woe is me, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death." So he's wondering, how am I going to be delivered through all this? Because he saw a lot of death. He saw a lot of people dying of starvation. He saw cannibalism. He saw seditions. He saw wars. People rebelling against the government, martial law. He saw all that, man. He says, "And great death in the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment." So obviously he's talking about the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay? The same time that Daniel spoke of in Daniel the 12th chapter. That it's going to be so bad that even Michael the archangel is going to have to stand for the people. All right? The same day that Yahweh Shai spoken of, Matthew 24th chapter, Luke the 21st chapter. It's going to be a day of tribulation, and it's going to be no other day such as the like, even since the foundation of the world. And Ezra, who's one of the 144,000, he saw himself in that. So this is what he saw in that terrible vision. So going back, Second Esdras 13 and verse 18 again. It says actually verse 17. It says, "For they that are not left were in heaviness." And you're gonna find out that those that were not left, we're talking about those who died. All right, but I'm gonna get to that. Is verse 18. "Now understand I the things that are laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them and to those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see the things that happen in the last days." And he answered unto me and said, "The interpretation of the vision shall I shew thee, and I will open unto thee the things that thou hast required. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is their interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time have kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith toward the Almighty. Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead." So you telling me that those that be left behind are more blessed than the 144,000? Because if you believe that the 144,000 were already gone, and this left behind is talking about the rest of the remnant, then you're saying that the 144,000 are dead, and that the remnant are actually more blessed than the 144,000, which the 144,000 is the remnant, along with the one third, the rest of the nation. Okay, those that be dead are those who didn't get to see this, man. But I'm gonna go to the other version. It's gonna make it clear. It says, "The same is he whom the Most High, the highest, have kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature Yahushai, and he shall order them that are left behind." Meaning he's gonna arrange them. He's gonna set them in order. All right, they're being prepared as a bride waiting for a bridegroom. It says, "And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came as a blast of wind and fire and storm, and he cometh with clouds, man. He's gonna come with his chariots like a whirlwind, all right, and get busy. And that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him." This is the interpretation. All right. So let me go to the second Ezra 13 in the Common English Bible. And this is verse 14. I'll start here. It says, "I woke up in great fear and pleaded with the Most High. I said, from the beginning you shewed your servants these wonders, and you considered me worthy that you should receive my prayer. Now show me also the interpretation of this dream. As I turn it over in my mind, I think how terrible it will be for those who will be left in those days." Right? And how much were, and I broke that down. Daniel 12 and 1, Matthew 24, Luke 21, 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. It says, "Now how much worse for those who aren't left," right? Those who aren't left will be full of sorrow. And that's talking about those who died on, all right, before, this time actually popped off. You had, men that died in this thing, and they're in the spirit world, not able to be down here to witness what we're actually witnessing, what we're seeing, and what we're out there doing. We're out there prophesying as these things are happening. Okay, they're not here to do that. But guess what? They know that there was going to be a time that was going to fall upon the world, and they know that there were going to be brothers and sisters that's going to be left in it. Okay, so it says, since they now know what lies in store for the last days, but they won't live to see them. You see? So they're not going to be here. So that means that those who died in the Lord, they're gonna be in the spiritual realm for a bit, while we're down here, having to go through, the temptation and the tribulation. All right, the Lord said, "Through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom," and that was that Paul that was giving a warning to the disciples. Okay, and then it also talks about those that are going to be when Yahushua returns. You're going to have those who are alive and remaining, and the elder covered that last night. So let's get that again. Let's get First Des 4 and start at 15. I start verse 13. It says, "But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that you sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. For if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua will the Most High bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep." Okay, and the brother looked up the word remain, which is obvious what the word remain mean. All right, what's a remainder? Something that's left over, right?
Strong's G 4035. Perilipomai. Perilipomai.
And it says to leave over, to remain over, to survive. All right, so there's gonna be men that's gonna be kept alive through this tribulation. Remember, the Lord said, if He didn't shorten the days for the elect's sake, it would be no flesh left to be saved. So He's gonna shorten the days so that those that are alive and remaining, that's meant to receive salvation, the Lord's gonna make a way to preserve them. Okay, and that goes when you let's go back over uh, uh, to the chapter. It says, verse at 19, it says, "For that very reason, they will see great dangers, and there will be many kinds of distress." Like Yahushua warned us, he said that there will be the distress of nations. When you shall see, earthquakes, when you shall see uproars of the people, when you shall see commotions, then know that we're coming into the beginning of sorrows, right? It says, "As these dreams show, it is better to encounter these things, even incurring danger, than to pass from the world like a cloud and not see what happens at the end." Because our life is like as a vapor, man. We don't know what happens. We don't know what tomorrow brings. That's why we say, Lord willing, we do this and we do that. But those of us that are alive, it is interesting to be here, man. Even Yahushua said, let me go to Luke, the 10th chapter. Hey, we're literally in a movie, and those of the different brothers and sisters that are of the elect that are in the spirit world, it's like they're missing out on the movie, man. This is Luke 10 and 24. It says, "For I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which you see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear and have not heard them." See? So they're basically, it's like, even though they're already saved and they're gonna come into the kingdom, they're gonna show up with Yahushai, but they're missing out, you know, on this big event. Because this is hysterical, man. This is gonna be in the books, man. It's even written in was that Jeremiah 16, "For it shall no longer be said, the children that liveth that the Lord have brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but the Lord liveth that brought up the children out of the land of the north." So this deliverance from this whole tribulation is gonna be so big that it's even gonna be more talked about than Egypt. Our miraculous deliverance out of Egypt, man. All right. So continuing on, it says, he answered me, I will tell you the interpretation of the dream as well, and I will explain to you the things you spoke about. As to what you said about those who are left, this is the interpretation. He who brings the danger at that time will himself guard those who fall into danger. What does that remind you of? Revelation 3 and 10. And it says, Revelation 3 and 10, this is Yahweh Shai speaking, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, right? And to try them that dwell upon the earth. So that means everybody, including the elect, 144,000, they all are going to be tried during this hour. And what is this hour of temptation? Ultimately, the mark of the beast, the RFID chip. That's another thing that uh, 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 our teachers and men that died in this thing, years ago, that's something that they don't have to deal with. Okay, but they know that we're down here and that we're gonna have to go through this. Okay, so we're gonna go through the hour of temptation. All right, we're gonna be brought into like it says in the previous chapter, the devil shall cast some of you into prison that you may be tried 10 days, be faithful unto death, and the Lord will give you the crown of life. So some brothers going to be interrogated. Some brothers going to be brought before governors and kings for the Lord's sake, as a testimony against them. Okay, but either way, if you're of the elect and you're part of the men that that are going to be alive and remaining when the Lord shows up, that means that the Lord he's gonna guard you. He's gonna protect you through this whole matter and make a way for you to escape. That's 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, man. All right. We're gonna endure the temptation. The Lord's gonna bring us out of it. Let me get real quick, Sirach 33. Sirach 33 and 1, it says, there shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation, even again, he will deliver him. All right, so the evils, that we're going to be facing, the Lord's going to make sure we be kept away from it. That's, hey, going back to that prayer that Yahweh Shai did, John the 17th chapter, he prayed that not that the Lord should take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from evil. And that's even in the Lord's Prayer, man. Okay. So going back, it says verse 11, behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Don't let nobody take your crown, man. Don't let no seducing spirit take your crown, a false prophet. Okay. Don't let the devil, the wicked one, take your crown. So that means that we got to overcome him. So hold fast which thou hast, which is what? Your faith. You have the faith of Yahweh Shai, you have the testimony. Verse 12, he that overcometh, or he that get the victory, while I make a pillar in the temple of my power. And he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my power, and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, and I will write upon him my new name. So this applies to the 144,000, showing you that they're gonna go through the hour of temptation, but they're gonna be saved from it. Meaning, when they go through it, the Lord's gonna be a guard to them. All right, you look up that word keep. It says he said he will keep thee from the hour of temptation. The word keep is the Hebrew word shamar, which means to guard. Okay, and to let me back that up. Let's go to the anointing prayer. number 6 and 24. And it says, the Lord Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. And the Hebrew word is shamar. And it means to keep guard. Okay? To keep, have charge of. The Lord's gonna have, he's gonna have charge over us through what? The angels. All right, to keep guard, keep watch and ward, protect, save life. And that's how there's gonna be those that are remaining and alive, that are basically left over, left behind. Okay? So going back, I'm gonna read that part again. It says, he who brings the danger at that time will himself guard those who fall into the danger, who have works and faith in the most mighty one. And that brings me to 2nd Esdras 9. All these things that's going to be coming on the world, the only ones that's going to be guarded in this tribulation are those of the elect who actually have faith. But of course, like James said, faith without works is dead, right? This is 2nd Esdras 9, and I'll start at 7. It says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby you have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. All right. And then the rest of our people, the 2/3 that didn't take heed, or that lacked faith, that had nothing but incredulity, and they trusted in oppression, they believed in this world, and continued on in their wickedness and didn't want to repent. They're gonna dwell in those torments. They're gonna die in the destruction. All right, this right here is going into the 2/3, and then those that shall be preserved from the said perils is 144,000 and the 1/3. Okay, and then when you jump down to verse 15, he said, "I have said before, and now do speak, and I will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved." Showing you that that's talking about the remnant. All right. And the Lord said, he told the angels that's holding back the winds of destruction not to harm the trees or the grass of the earth until all the elect are sealed, which is 144,000, 12,000 men out of each tribe, and then also the multitude out of every kindred, tongue, and nation. They're gonna come out of tribulation with their white robes, giving praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. They're gonna be in a chariot giving praises, man. They also going to be affrighted because of what's going to be happening on the earth. They're going to be witnessing it. Psalms the 91st chapter, Revelation 15. You're going to see that glass mingle with fire. They're going to look down and see Babylon literally on fire. It's going to look like a lake that burneth with fire and brimstone. The people down there, they're going to be suffering death by pain. All right. So going back, it says 24. It says, "Know therefore that those who are left enjoy greater privilege than those who have died. The interpretations of the visions are as follows: and that you saw a man going up from the heart of the sea, that is the one whom the Most High have been keeping for many ages." Yahweh Shai. This is when he's going to finally reveal Yahweh Shai, man, who's going to be coming back with the angels, right? He will liberate God's creation, which really, he's going to deliver his elect all by himself, and he will put in order those who are left, those who are alive and remaining. They're gonna be prepared. They're gonna be adorned, okay, for the bridegroom. And then he's gonna proceed to destroy uh, uh, the beast. These are the armies of these other nations, NATO, the EU, and he's gonna destroy the 2/3. All right. And that you saw something like wind and fire and storm go out of his mouth, and that he didn't hold a spear or a weapon of war, yet destroyed the rush of the multitude that had come to fight him. That's Revelation 12:9 is going to be a war in heaven. All right. The dragon and his angels, or the devil and his angels, and Michael and the angels, which Yahweh Shai is going to give them the charge to take them out. Yahweh Shai is going to send out that order, man. It says, and here is the interpretation. Look, these days are coming when the Most High will begin to rescue those who are on the earth. And that's those who are left behind. Okay? But this is not in the sense of a pre-tribulation rapture where the Christians believe that, you're going to have those who are caught up first, you know, without have basically they're a pre-tribulation rapture, and then the Lord's going to come back and then rapture up the rest of them. That's false, man. Like the Lord's going to take them up, have some secret ceremony somewhere in the earth, and then, oh shit, let me go and get them now. Nah, man. We all going to have to go through the tribulation. We all going to have to witness this. The only ones who's not going to have to witness it are the those that died in the Lord. All right, they're going to be in peace. And then going back to First Thessalonians, we're going to meet up with those that died in the Lord and get a chance to, see these things that we're seeing. All right, going back to First Thessalonians 4:17, it says, I'll start at 16. It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, and with the voice of an archangel, and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead and Hamashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, in the chariots, to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. Okay? And that's simple and plain, man. So you're gonna have those that's gonna come back with the Lord, all right? And you're gonna have those who are martyrs for this thing that died in this tribulation as well, the temptation. They're gonna be raised up, resurrected, and caught up into the ship. And then those of us that didn't die, we're gonna be changed. All of us are gonna be changed, and we're all gonna be caught up into the ship together to meet one another. And that's when the marriage ceremony is gonna happen on the chariot. All right, but those who died before they got a chance to see this is Isaiah 50, was it 57? Isaiah 57:1, it says, the righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart, and merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. He shall enter into peace, they shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. And that's pretty simple, man. Simple and plain. So Lord willing, this answered the question. This is what you was looking for. And if you still can't receive this at this point, if you feel like you wasn't satisfied after, it being made plain, Salakia. And this was the video that, he, the brother, left his comment on. So, hey, man, I really wasn't going to do this, man. But, the spirit just kind of compelled me. And the fact that you keep bringing it up, I was just going to use it for edification's sake, man. So at this point, after you have watched this video and you still wasn't satisfied, you felt like you wasn't fed, then it's apparent what you're really trying to do. All right, and I will no more waste my time, man. So I hope that you did get it, and hey, may Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, be with you, okay? But Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm gonna give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and until the next lesson, I say Shalom.